We're the largest user of Teams by Microsoft in the world. And in the last few weeks, as we rapidly ramped more people working remotely from home, Teams audio usage has almost doubled from our typical 16 million minutes per day to almost 30 million minutes per day.
That's Julie Sweet talking about the surge in Accenture's Microsoft Teams usage in March. And Accenture is not the only company relying on Teams to enhance remote working. In early March, Microsoft sent a press release to tech publications and websites which announced a huge global spike in daily active users of Teams. Their user numbers jumped from 22 to 32 million. That story was instantly outdated, however, and the press release had to be recalled and updated to 44 million users due to the so-called remote working surge. An incredible user spike in the space of 7 to 8 days. And those users are now generating over 2.7 billion calling minutes each day. So what kind of competition is out there for Microsoft in this space? It would appear that Slack, Zoom and Facebook are the main players to watch. Let's start with the enterprise messaging platform, Slack.
You've probably heard of Slack. Your friend Brianna from soccer practice told you about it.
The latest figures from Slack date back to November, when they stated that they had 12 million daily active users compared with Microsoft Teams' 20 million. Although both companies are competitors, Slack integrated Microsoft Teams into their platform earlier this month. And while Microsoft admits that Slack is a viable competitor, they insist that Zoom, a company they tried to purchase pre-IPO last year, is their biggest competitor by far. Zoom's app has been the top free offering in Apple's App Store for weeks, and while they don't typically share actual user numbers, preferring to talk percentage increases, they couldn't help but shout their latest numbers from the rooftops in early April, when their growth proved to be exponential, and they confirmed that they were now handling 200 million daily meeting participants. This growth appears to be down to increased use by the educational sector, small organisations and non-corporate groups. It has not come without growing pains, however, and there are huge concerns over the app's privacy and security practices.
There are lots of fun features, but there's also been some privacy issues.
Hordes of private meetings, therapy sessions and interviews have been released without password protection for public viewing. And there is, of course, the phenomenon of Zoom bombing.
Zoom meetings are getting hijacked in a new trend called Zoom bombing,
where uninvited guests can hijack meetings with shock content. Zoom CEO Eric Yuan addressed the security lapses publicly in April and stated that they were taking the issue very seriously by suspending all current development on the app for 90 days and moving all available developers over to solve the security issues. In a normal market, all this adverse publicity would negatively impact even the most blue chip of stocks, but Zoom seems to be impervious to any of it. Their market value at the beginning of April was close to $42 billion, 4 times its value at IPO last April. And to put that into context, Zoom is now worth more than 8 times the market cap of IAG, the owner of British Airways. Last word goes to Facebook, who are also active in this market with their Workplace by Facebook offering. They've been onboarding people with free sign-ups, 5 gig of storage and access to up to 50 users. Their daily active user numbers, however, are much lower than Microsoft Teams and Slack and stood at 3 million at the last count in November. But remember, this is Facebook, and given their sheer scale, they cannot be ruled out of getting a sizable slice of this market once they've gathered up a bit of steam. After all, with 2 billion monthly users, they have one of the largest canvases in the world on which to promote their service. Seems like the remote working space has zoomed right into focus for many investors. Karen.